Countdown already started. Your house hath been spiritually targeted. Don't laugh it off. Archangel Michael says the name of the person behind it will shock you. Open this now or let darkness enter your home. The countdown has already begun. Heaven marked the hour, and time has started moving differently for you. What seemed like just another moment was not. What felt like just another day was not. Something shifted. Something sacred began. A spiritual clock now ticks above your house, and what is written must now be revealed. You, child of the Most High, have been brought to this message by divine interruption, and not by accident. The hour is urgent, and the realm of light has sounded the alarm. This is Archangel Michael speaking, defender of the righteous, commander of the Lord's host. I do not speak without assignment, and I do not arrive without purpose. You were marked, not by the darkness but by heaven. And because of that divine mark, you became visible in realms you cannot yet see. You have been targeted, not by chance but by a hidden hand. Someone whose smile did not match their heart. Someone whose voice masked the venom behind their words. Someone who whispered your name with envy while pretending loyalty. Yes, they have set their spiritual eyes upon your home, your peace, your promise. Let it be known, this message is not for all. It is not a broadcast. It is a dispatch. And only those whose spirit is sensitive, stirred, and spiritually awake will recognize the trembling in the atmosphere. If your heart is racing, if your body feels tense, if something in your spirit just whispered, "Pay attention," then you are the one. You are the one I was sent to. You are the one this warning wraps around. There is a condition, and it cannot be ignored. Stillness is your weapon. Silence is your shield. Disbelief is an open door to the adversary. Mocking what is holy invites what is unholy. Laughing this off, calling this mere drama, dismissing this as nothing, will create a crack wide enough for something ancient to slither through. But to those who receive this in reverence, in stillness, in spiritual sensitivity, protection is already being activated. This is not a time to ignore the warning. It's a moment of awakening. A moment when heaven leans in and says, "Be alert. Be still. Be ready." For what is coming is not fiction. It is not emotional. It is spiritual. And it is personal. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. In the name of the living God, under the command of Archangel Michael, this word comes forth. Heaven has broken the silence, not by accident, but by divine strategy. A dispatch has been sent from the throne of the Most High, and I, Michael, have been assigned to deliver it. I do not arrive lightly. I do not speak vaguely. When I descend, it is because something sacred hath been disturbed. I stand between dimensions, guarding the gateways, warring in realms unseen, and delivering messages only the bold will receive. And now, the warning must be heard. Within the next 72 hours, what was hidden will seek to manifest. There is movement, not just in the natural, but in the spirit. Whispers have turned to incantations. Jealous thoughts have matured into targeted actions. A countdown has started, and heaven has not only heard it, heaven initiated it. For your sake, for your protection, for your awakening. What was once veiled is about to be unveiled. the one who has plotted, the one who has spoken your name in envy, in bitterness, in spiritual rebellion. Their mask is beginning to slip. Someone you never expected is holding your name in their mouth, not in prayer, but in accusation. Not in honor, but in hostility. They've smiled with their mouth and cursed with their hands. They've watched your house, monitored your movements, tracked your progress, all under the guise of closeness. But it was not love. It was not care. It was spiritual surveillance, fueled by jealousy, hidden in plain sight. And now, I speak it boldly, you are not paranoid. You are discerning. This word is not for all, but if your spirit is stirred as you hear this, you are among the chosen to receive it. If your chest is tightening, if your eyes are beginning to water for no reason, if your heart is beating like war drums in your ribcage, you are being summoned to awareness. The heavens have paused time momentarily to ensure that you hear this. Everything around you may seem normal, but the air around your home has changed. Heaven is watching. Angels are on alert. There is divine activity circling your household even now. I come to interrupt what would have overwhelmed you. I come to expose what would have stolen from you. I come with a sword drawn, because what approaches your gate is not petty, it is demonic. It carries the scent of ancient curses, the venom of bloodline bitterness, and the force of generational envy. But I have been stationed. I have not come alone. I stand with legions, and heaven is not confused about who you are. The enemy knows you are not ordinary. That is why your house hath been spiritually targeted. You carry oil. You carry promise. You carry a light that aggravates those who have chosen darkness. You didn't ask for this battle, but your obedience made you visible. Your growth made you a threat. And the enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, so it seeks to delay, distract, and disrupt. But listen carefully, you are not defenseless. You are not exposed. You are not alone. You are protected by a seal, marked by divine fire, and wrapped in the wings of heaven's host. Even now, your spirit is aligning with truth. Even now, your awareness is increasing. Even now, the alarm in your soul is being answered with angelic intervention. You are not crazy. You are not imagining this. You are being warned. You are not hearing a message, you are receiving a prophetic summons. Type "I receive this warning" in the comments and say it aloud. Lesson code 777 is now defending your home. There is a reason your spirit has felt unsettled. A reason the atmosphere in your home has felt thick, not with noise, but with something unexplainable. You've walked into rooms and felt eyes on you even when no one was there. You've laughed with friends, yet felt tension under the surface. You've sat in silence and still sensed the cold fingers of something spiritual creeping around the edges of your peace. These were not coincidences. They were not overthinking. They were not anxiety. They were signals, divine signals. Whispers have been traveling on spiritual winds. Conversations that should have never included your name have echoed in secret places. You've been the topic, not in love but in resentment. Someone has studied you, not to celebrate you but to imitate and infiltrate. Their tone has shifted. Their face looks the same, but their eyes, oh, the eyes tell the truth. They smile with their lips, but their heart is leaking something else entirely. Gold. calculated, and careful. Have you noticed it? The shift in how they greet you. The way they now pause before responding. A subtle sarcasm. The way they no longer celebrate your wins. It's not just mood swings, it's movement in the spirit. Something is being stirred in people around you, and you've been sensing it in your soul before you even had language for it. But today, the veil is being lifted. They know your movements, yet they don't know your covering. They've watched your patterns, studied your preferences, and even mimicked your words, but they have no understanding of the protection that surrounds you. They've seen you rise, but they've missed the reason why. They believe your success is luck or manipulation, not realizing that heaven's oil is on you. And now, that oil is agitating them. Your peace convicts them. Your joy exposes their bitterness. Your consistency makes their manipulation ineffective. Let me speak directly. They have tried to curse what God has called holy. They've spoken over your home, not in blessing, but in spiritual sabotage. They've released word curses, casual comments, sarcastic jabs, subtle suggestions meant to sow seeds of confusion and doubt. And some of those seeds have begun to sprout. But I declare to you now, their harvest will be uprooted. Their influence is being revoked. Their authority over your emotions is being severed in this very moment. Have you noticed something feeling off in your own home? Arguments rising for no reason. Electronics glitching. Children suddenly acting out. Peace disturbed in the night. That's not just chaos. It's spiritual interference. The darkness they sent didn't fully enter, but it hovered, waiting for access. But praise be to the living God, you didn't open the door. You felt it, but you didn't receive it. You sensed the shift, but you stayed anchored. Still, the enemy is persistent, is using people close, people you once trusted, people whose presence should bring safety, but now brings unease. That inner tension is not imaginary, it's revelatory. Heaven is awakening your discernment, stirring your spiritual senses, and whispering, watch closely. And so I must ask, who have you overlooked? Who have you defended when your spirit was screaming to create distance? Who have you explained away when every encounter left you drained and confused? The enemy doesn't always attack through enemies. Sometimes he moves through familiarity. Judas was close. Absalom was family. Delilah was intimate. The greatest betrayals don't come from strangers. They come from shadows that walk beside you. But do not fear. For the God who sees in secret has already dispatched heaven's defense. Archangel Michael stands armed at the gates of your dwelling. And before long, the identity of the one behind this will be revealed, and it will shock you. But until then, remain still, remain watchful, remain prayerful. The spiritual disruption around you is not just attack, it's announcement. The enemy only fights what threatens him. Type I am covered in the comments if this message is for you. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding your household. When you sow into this mission, you're not just supporting a message, you're helping heaven interrupt someone else's storm. Every gift, every act of support, sends a wave of light into someone else's dark hour. This isn't charity, this is warfare. Your seed becomes someone else's shield. God said in 2 Corinthians 9:10, "He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. That word is not dead ink. It's alive in you now. If you feel led to support this prophetic word, step into that divine flow. I heard the Spirit whisper, someone's yes will unlock another's breakthrough. If that's you, rise. Give boldly. Give spiritually. Give as a prophetic act. Use super thanks, membership, or click the PayPal link in the description to sow your offering. Blessing and fire will follow every act of obedience. Do not delay. Act now. The heavens are moving. You must understand this now. This battle you feel, this tension pressing against the edges of your home, is not ordinary. It is not just offense. It is not just jealousy. It is not just people being people. What is happening around you is not surface-level frustration. It is spiritual warfare, and your house has been marked because of what you carry. This is not a physical disagreement. It is a supernatural confrontation. What hath been launched against your home is not emotional. It is strategic. It is targeted. It is ancient. And it is very aware of your calling. The powers of darkness are not reacting to who you were, but to who heaven says you are becoming. The spirits that now stir against you are not new. They are ancestral, territorial, and bitterly afraid of your awakening. Your breakthrough threatens cycles that have existed for generations. And so, they have come. Not with fire or thunder. No, the enemy is more clever than that. He arrives in passive-aggressive tones. He moves through gossip wrapped in fake concern. He walks into your home wearing the face of a friend, a relative, a colleague, but his voice leaks accusation, intimidation, and confusion. That unease you feel, a tension in the room that wasn't there before. That isn't psychological. It is prophetic. It is the spiritual realm reacting to your light. Because you, beloved, are not ordinary. You are not unnoticed in the heavens or in the shadows. You are marked with divine fire, and that mark has made you a threat to demonic systems. It's why you've been under pressure. It's why strange things have been happening in your house. It's why the conversations around you have shifted. The enemy believes if he can disrupt your environment, he can distract your destiny. But he miscalculated. What he didn't count on was that you'd be still. What he didn't expect was your silence, not silence born from fear, but from faith. He hoped you would react in your flesh, but you chose to retreat into prayer. He hoped you would lash out, but you went into fasting. And this, right here, is why heaven is fighting for you. Your restraint has become your resistance. You've been chosen. That's why you're being challenged. You've been anointed. That's why you're being attacked. This isn't punishment, it's confirmation. The enemy doesn't target the irrelevant. And this is not just about you, it's about the generations that will follow. The enemy knows if he doesn't stop you, the chain will break. The curse will end. The patterns will collapse. And so, he tried to target your house. But he failed to calculate one thing. Heaven is watching. There are divine eyes that see what men do not. The whispered curses, the cloaked jealousy, the spiritual projections sent against you in secret, heaven saw them all. Every manipulative word, every envious glance, Every time they walk through your door with hidden motives in their hearts, heaven documented it. Every idle word spoken over your name hath been recorded in the archives of the Almighty. You may not have seen it, but heaven did. And because heaven saw it, heaven responded. That's why you're hearing this message right now. This is not entertainment. This is not content. This is divine intervention. Archangel Michael has been released with sword drawn, not just to defend, but to reveal. You are not in a random storm. You are in a prophetic moment of exposure and realignment. And now I speak this over you. Your stillness will silence them. Your obedience will outlast them. Your covering is greater than their curse. Remain firm. Stay quiet. Watch and pray. Because soon, the one behind this will be unmasked. And when they are, you will remember that heaven warned you before the storm ever hit. Type "My house is shielded" in the comments if this word confirms what your spirit already knew. Blessing code 2121 is now active over your walls. The stillness you feel right now is deceptive. It is the quiet before a divine confrontation. The one behind the disruption is not done. They are moving in shadows, preparing their next action. The countdown that heaven began is not only ticking toward revelation, it is ticking toward collision. Within days, not weeks, the pressure around your life will intensify. The spiritual atmosphere will become heavier, not to harm you, but to expose them. For what they tried to bury in secrecy, God is about to drag into the light with power and finality. And here is the truth the enemy doesn't want you to know. The mask is slipping. Their performance is breaking. The smile they wear cannot survive much longer. The friendliness is cracking. The flattery will falter. Their words will begin to contradict. Their energy will begin to leak. You'll begin to notice strange apologies, vague explanations, unnecessary justifications. Watch their language. It will begin to betray them. Watch their eyes. The darkness hiding behind them is growing impatient. They are being spiritually cornered by the very God who defends you. Heaven is allowing them just enough rope to reveal their true intent. And when they make their move, and they will, it will look sudden to those around you. But you will know. You will remember this warning. And you will not be moved. Listen to me, chosen one. This is not the time to react. It is the time to observe. Because the one plotting against you is preparing to strike, not physically, but emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. They want access. They want chaos. They want a doorway. And this is how they'll attempt to enter, through confusion, confrontation, or accusation. They will attempt to provoke a response. Don't give them what they want. Don't hand over what heaven is shielding. In these next few days, you may notice subtle shifts, a sudden disagreement, a misunderstanding that feels exaggerated, a coincidental encounter that feels off. None of it is random. The veil is tearing, and their assignment is almost up. They are desperate. That desperation will manifest in increasingly reckless behavior. Their speech will betray them. Your actions will feel forced. And soon, they will be revealed. The pressure in your home may rise. Emotions may run high. But do not forget, pressure is not punishment. It is prophecy fulfilling itself. It is heaven pressing out what had been festering in the dark. For months, even years, some of you have entertained, supported, or trusted someone with your peace, unaware that they were planted by hell to dismantle it. And now, heaven has said enough. Michael already knows the name. I know the origin of the curse. I know the room it was spoken in. I know the moment they wrote your name in spiritual ink, lining themselves with bitterness instead of blessing. And I have come to tell you, their time is almost up. But I must ask you this. Are you ready to know who it is? Because knowing will shake you. And knowing will hurt. Knowing may even tempt you to retaliate. That's why heaven hasn't revealed them yet. God is not only protecting you from the attack, He is protecting you from the reaction. You must be still. Still enough to recognize the difference between justice and vengeance. Still enough to hear the voice of God before you speak. Because when their name becomes clear, your heart must be clean. That is your protection. That is your elevation. This moment is not about revenge. It is about realignment. God is closing the gate they've been secretly standing at. He is removing access. He is sealing the breach. Your obedience is the lock that keeps the enemy out. So do not fear what is coming. Welcome it. The confrontation isn't chaos. It's confirmation. The revelation is not an attack. It's your announcement. Your house is not falling apart. It is being fortified. And when it comes, not if but when, stand still. Say nothing. Watch everything. And trust that heaven has already come ahead of you. Type I am ready for revelation in the comments. Blessing code 1777 is unlocking the door to divine exposure. Be still now, for heaven moves when you withdraw. When you resist the temptation to respond in flesh, when you hold your tongue instead of defending yourself, when you choose silence over reaction, the angels descend with swords drawn. You are not retreating in weakness. You are advancing in divine alignment. What the enemy intended as provocation, heaven is turning into positioning. Stillness is not passivity. It is power restrained. It is the holy language of those who trust in the timing of God. The battle is not won by volume. It is won by obedience. And right now, the Spirit of God is commanding you. Do not retaliate. Do not reveal. Do not expose. Let heaven do it. Let me do it. They will not expect your silence. They are baiting you, expecting your emotion. They are watching your response, hoping for an open door. But every time you hold your peace, you close the gate they hope to enter through. Every moment you choose not to argue, not to explain, not to engage, a hedge is formed around your house, and the darkness is denied its access point. This is the season where silence will speak louder than confrontation. Your silence will be louder than their schemes. It will scream that you trust in the justice of God. It will echo that you are led by the Spirit and not by wounds. It will signal to the heavens that you are ready for elevation, because only those who know who they are can remain quiet while others lie. The Lord is saying, I will defend you in public because you honored me in private. The protection you seek is not coming from a conversation. It is coming from consecration. And if you will stay hidden in the Spirit, I, Michael, will ensure that every plot against your house is reversed. No arrow will strike you. No plan will prosper. No curse will enter. The dark cloud you've been sensing is not evil overcoming you. It is heaven overshadowing you. The weight you feel is not oppression. It is angelic presence taking its post. Even now, I have stationed heavenly sentries at the corners of your home. Even now, your walls are being wrapped in light. Even now, heaven has pulled rank, and what tried to enter will find no resting place. Your only assignment in this hour is this: observe in stillness and pray in truth. Do not let fear enter. Do not let anxiety find a bed in your spirit. Keep your atmosphere clean. Let no bitterness linger. Say only what heaven allows. This is your covering. And speak these words daily: I am covered. I am sealed. I am invisible to the enemy. My house is protected. My threshold is guarded. My peace cannot be taken. My family is hidden in divine light. Every time you say it, angels respond. Every time you declare it, light builds a wall around your name. Every time you whisper it, the Father nods in approval and sends more reinforcement. Your stillness is not inactivity. It is the signal that heaven is free to move. You are not losing. You are being led. You are not shrinking. You are being shielded. You are not ignored. You are being guarded. This is your instruction. Step back. Stay silent. Let heaven fight. And the one who targeted you, they will come to realize they never warred against you. They warred against the God who covers you. And no one wins that battle. Type "I trust heaven's timing" in the comments if this is your instruction. Blessing code 3030 is now hovering over your roof. Hear me now, child of fire. You are no longer the same person they once knew. You've been transformed. Heaven didn't just cover you, it changed you. You may still have the same smile, the same voice, the same face, but your spirit has been upgraded. Your essence has been shifted. The oil on your life is heavier now. The authority in your voice carries thunder. The light in your presence exposes even what you do not speak. They thought you were fragile. They thought you could be manipulated. They remembered the version of you that used to second guess, that used to over-apologize, that used to stay quiet out of fear, not out of discernment. But they didn't realize that pain has produced something in you. Trial has refined you. Warfare has awakened a fire inside you that cannot be put out. You are not weak. You are rising. What the enemy meant to break you, God used to build you. What they gossiped about only helped sharpen your spiritual senses. What they mocked only positioned you deeper in the secret place. Every betrayal became a brick in the wall of your spiritual strength. Every rejection redirected you into God's presence. Every delay became your training ground. And now, you've emerged, not with vengeance but with vision. Not with bitterness but with boldness. I, Michael, tell you this: you are a different breed now. Heaven has shifted your classification in the spirit. You are no longer one who merely survives. You are one who commands atmosphere. When you walk into a room, angels adjust formation. When you speak, the darkness trembles. When you pray, realms respond. Do not let the smallness of their memory reduce the magnitude of your anointing. This is the season of your unveiling, not your downfall. And those who tried to write your story with counterfeit ink will now witness the hand of God rewrite your narrative before their very eyes. You are stepping into a phase where elevation is inevitable. And though they tried to keep you small, heaven has declared, it is time. You've been through fire, but you didn't burn. You've walked through betrayal, but you didn't become bitter. You've stood in the silence of seasons where no one affirmed you, and yet you kept praying. You kept fasting. You kept seeking. And now, heaven has declared, the one who endured in secret will rise in the open. Wings are forming where wounds used to be. Fire is falling on the places where tears once soaked your pillow. You're not just rising, you're ascending. What was meant to take you out has become the very platform that lifts you up. You are not just being delivered from your enemies, you are being delivered into your next dimension. You're no longer fighting for approval. You've been approved by God. You're no longer striving for validation. Heaven has stamped your name with authority. You're no longer dimming your light. You are walking in full blaze. No more apologies for the oil. No more shrinking to make others comfortable. This is the hour where the bold rise and the hidden are revealed. So speak no more as if you are powerless. Do not walk like a victim when God has crowned you with victory. Stand up. Speak up. Shine, and let no voice of intimidation dim what God has set ablaze in you. For you are not who they remember, you are who heaven has anointed. And from this moment forward, when they speak your name, they will remember the day your glory ignited. Type "I am rising in power" in the comments. Blessing code 818 is now activating a shift over your destiny. Do not be surprised by the heat of the trial. Do not be alarmed by the sudden weight. What has come against you in this hour is not random. It is response. A reaction. A retaliation. A scream from the enemy's camp that your destiny is closer than you think. For the enemy has seen something in you that you have only just begun to discover in yourself. They saw the shape of your anointing. They saw the outline of your next level. They smelled the aroma of breakthrough rising from your life, and they panicked. Yes, they saw it first. Before you could even name it, before you could understand the warfare, they sensed what was about to be born from your life. The darkness recognized your name written on scrolls in heaven and activated an assignment to delay it. This is why the trials have come in waves. This is why your peace has been shaken, your home unsettled, your name whispered in places it didn't belong. It was not a personal attack. It was a prophetic alarm. They knew what you carried even when you didn't. That's why confusion was sent. That's why strange illnesses showed up. That's why relationships began to turn sour for no reason. It was all part of the enemy's attempt to preempt what God was about to release. Because the enemy knows that what's next for you cannot be stopped, only delayed. And every delay is now being confronted by a word from heaven. Heaven is breaking its silence to remind you, you are chosen for more. The weight you felt, the warfare you faced, it was because the enemy caught wind of your promotion before you received the prophecy. I saw doors forming in the spirit. They saw your name being whispered by angels. They saw oil dripping from your spirit and favor orbiting around your future. And they moved first. But now it is heaven's move. And here it is the prophecy. Blessings that were delayed will now be released. Doors that felt jammed are now swinging open. The people that walked away left room for those sent by God. The silence you endured is now birthing a sound from heaven that will shake the atmosphere around your house, Where there was confusion, there will be clarity. Where there was sabotage, there will be strategy. What they tried to bury, God is resurrecting. But this next part is not for the faint of heart. The name of the betrayer will be revealed. Not to shame, not for revenge, but so you will finally understand the depths of the opposition. For too long, you've blamed yourself. You've questioned your own discernment. You second-guessed the shifts you felt in the spirit. But God says, you were never wrong, you just weren't ready to see the full truth. Now, He's removing the final veil. When it comes, and it will, it may come in the form of a message, a conversation, a sudden revelation that pierces through the fog. You will not have to search for it. It will find you. And when it does, you'll feel the peace of confirmation. The storm wasn't in your head. The targeting wasn't imagined. You were under surveillance, and heaven has intercepted it. So prepare your heart, not for revenge, but for realignment. The betrayer's name won't just shock you. It will free you. It will release you from the invisible cords of soul ties, expectations, and false loyalties. And in that moment, your next chapter will begin. The false connections will be cut. The counterfeit relationships will dissolve. And what's been delayed will no longer be detained. Type "I receive the revelation" in the comments. Blessing code 626 is releasing clarity into your atmosphere. This is more than just a word, it's a weapon. And if this prophetic message has struck your spirit, I invite you to partner with this anointing and help us reach others who are crying out for clarity, truth, and deliverance. Your support helps the Word of God interrupt spiritual darkness in countless homes across the world. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. That is Proverbs 11:25, and heaven is echoing it over your life now. When you sow into this mission, you're not just helping spread messages, you're sowing into spiritual rescue missions. If the Spirit is stirring you, don't hold back. Step into obedience. You can support this ministry through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the video description below. Let your gift break yokes. Let your obedience speak louder than fear. Let your support become someone else's lifeline. Heaven responds to the faithful. Sow in alignment. Move in fire. Give with authority. Now that you've been warned, now that you've been revealed the weight of what's been surrounding your home, heaven waits. Not for your fear. Not for your panic. Not even for your reaction. Heaven waits for your yes. Because the next phase isn't just about protection, it's about activation. This is the hour where your posture determines your portion. This is the season where you must come into alignment with what heaven has already released, because destiny doesn't happen by accident, it happens by agreement. Speak it out loud: I am covered. My house is sealed. That may seem like just a sentence to the natural ear, but in the realm of the Spirit, those are activation codes. Those words are like keys in the lock of the enemy's trap, like hammers to the walls the adversary tried to build around your calling. Your voice has power. Your agreement has weight. What you say now will shape what enters your home in the coming days. Let there be no confusion. This battle is not about your past. It is about your future. The pressure that has come against your house isn't because you failed. It's because you're finally stepping into what cannot fail. The enemy targeted you because he saw movement. He saw alignment. He saw obedience. And when heaven gets ready to push you into your purpose, the enemy always tries to disrupt the yes. But this time, you will not fold. You will not be tricked by emotional distractions. You will not be delayed by familiar spirits. You will not be pulled back into old patterns. You are rising, and nothing will stop it. But you must open your mouth. You must come into agreement. You must say what heaven is waiting to echo. I am in position. I am in alignment. I am walking forward, and my house will follow. Yes, your house, because this battle is not just about you. It's about your children, your bloodline, your future family, your legacy. You think it's coincidence that your house has been under attack? No, it's the gate of your generation that's being fought over. The enemy wants to infiltrate your home because he sees what's growing inside of it. The next prophet, the next warrior, the next world changer. That's what's being guarded. That's what the darkness is after. But heaven has made it clear, this house belongs to the Lord. So now you must act like it. Speak over your doors. Pray over your windows. Anoint your thresholds. Declare over your family, even if they don't believe you yet. Even if they mock it. Even if they laugh. Because your faith is building a spiritual fortress that the enemy cannot penetrate. Your declarations are laying bricks. Your silence is setting traps for the enemy. Your fasting is releasing fire. Your prayers are placing angels at every exit and entry. And now, I release this word. Heaven is waiting on your agreement. Not your perfection. Not your expertise. Just your obedience. Yes, your yes. When you move, angels move. When you declare, strongholds break. When you fast, the fog clears. And when you believe, the enemy flees. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the moment to move. So rise. To beg. Declare. Cover your home. Seal your doors. Get in position. Because destiny is not coming. It's already here. The delay has lifted. The fog is clearing. The hand of the enemy is being pulled back. And the light that was promised is beginning to break through your walls. This is your hour. This is your turning. This is your divine activation. Taught my destiny is activated in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 5555 is now shifting the atmosphere around your home. While you slept, heaven moved. While you rested, the spirit warred. While you closed your eyes, unaware of what pressed against your windows, what stood outside your gates, what hovered around your threshold, angels were already positioned. You never saw it, but your spirit felt it. You never heard it, but your soul trembled at the sound. There was a movement in the night, a holy exchange taking place between dimensions. And it changed everything. Michael, commander of heaven's host, was dispatched with orders sealed in divine fire, orders that carried your name. And when I arrived at the gate of your home, I found what darkness assumed would be a battleground, but instead, I marked it a sanctuary. Because your spirit stayed anchored. Your mouth didn't curse. Your heart didn't open doors. Your silence became the welcome mat for angelic activity. And because of your obedience, something has shifted. You didn't see it in the natural, but in the spirit. Trade has been made. What was stolen in secret, your peace, your clarity, your rest, your trust, your joy, is now being restored. Heaven doesn't return what was stolen the same way it was taken. Heaven upgrades. Heaven increases. Heaven restores in double. While the enemy was still plotting, heaven was already rewriting. While the betrayer still believed they had power, the courts of heaven had already ruled. You are sealed. You are secure. You are vindicated. Do not let your lack of visible change confuse you. What happened in the unseen realm is more powerful than what can be measured with human eyes. For while you were unaware, there was a divine exchange. Your sleepless nights for supernatural rest, your spiritual confusion for prophetic clarity, your anxious thoughts for angelic peace. Even now, the very air around your house is different. Even now, heaven has restructured the flow of spiritual access points around your life. What once leaked is now locked. What once felt vulnerable is now fortified. And hear this, the unrest you felt was not chaos. It was the trembling of spiritual movement. It was your spirit detecting the nearness of angelic breakthrough. That pressure in your chest, that sudden heaviness that came out of nowhere, that wasn't a panic attack. That was divine activity. Heaven was negotiating your name in the courts. Michael was standing before the throne, sword still dripping with the assignments he defeated, and your house was the agenda. You see, while you've been trying to figure out who targeted you, heaven has already declared who owns you. You don't belong to confusion. You don't belong to trauma. You don't belong to cycles. You belong to the God who watches in silence and strikes in glory. And that God has made a covenant over your home, a covenant of light, a covenant of sealing, a covenant of protection. Now, walk like someone who knows the trade has been made. Speak like someone who understands the weight of what just shifted in the spirit. You are no longer under surveillance. You are under supernatural guard. A darkness that stalked your window can no longer linger. The voices that sent whispers against you have been muted in the realm where it matters most. You will hear them less, not because they've stopped speaking, but because their access has been revoked. This is your new posture, bold peace. Peace that doesn't ask for permission. Peace that knows who's standing guard at the door. Peace that walks through every room of your house knowing, I am not alone. Heaven lives here. Glory breathes here. Angels war here. So rest tonight, but not like before. Rest with knowledge. Rest with power. Rest with the sound of angelic wings circling your home. The enemy can no longer trade what heaven has secured. Your house is now coated with the blood. Your walls are now alive with praise. The silent exchange has been made, and you are safe. Type heaven moved for me in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 4141 is now surrounding your rest. Justice is moving. Not in the courtrooms of man, but in the eternal chambers of heaven. The gavel has already struck. The scales have been examined. The evidence is not hearsay, it is holy. And heaven has ruled in your favor. What they plotted against you, what they whispered in secret, What they conjured in envy and disguised with fake affection, it will not remain hidden. For I, Michael, have been assigned not only to defend but to execute divine reversal. Spiritual justice is already in motion. The curses they sent are returning, not by accident, but by the law of sowing and reaping. They sowed darkness, and now darkness returns to their camp. They released words coated in poison, and now the venom finds its way back to the source. Not because you asked for revenge, not because you lifted your hand in retaliation, but because heaven does not sleep, and justice delayed is not justice denied. Hear this clearly: what they spoke against your house will land upon their own. The confusion they tried to sow into your relationships will tangle their own alliances. The weariness they hoped would break your spirit will now confront their own minds. What they tried to fracture will now fracture where it originated. This is not cruelty. This is correction. God is not petty, but He is precise. And the hour of precision has come. The reversal will begin subtly at first. You may not even notice it, because it won't come with thunder or earthquake. It will come like a whisper. Delays in their plans, exposure in their motives, disruptions in the very systems they used against you. God is not just silencing them. He is deconstructing the stage they built to embarrass you. He is tearing down the very structure they relied on to bring you down. And all the while, you will rise. You will not have to shout. You will not have to defend. You will not have to vindicate yourself in front of crowds who believed lies. God is flipping the script. The stone they rolled toward your door, it rolls back toward them now. The rope they tied to trap you, it wraps around their own schemes. This is divine reversal. This is spiritual justice. And it is already underway. Some of you have cried for so long, asking why won't they be exposed? Why do they continue to get away with it? And the Lord says to you now, I was building the testimony. I was preserving the proof. I allowed the enemy to write their name in the plot so that when I reverse it, there will be no question about who orchestrated your vindication. You will not share the glory, because only God could have turned this the way it's about to turn. I see relationships realigning. I see money that was withheld being suddenly released. I see favor falling upon your name where there was once resistance. And I see the plans of those who targeted you, disrupted, confused, dismantled. Your platform is sinking. Your tongue is twisting. Their own confusion is overtaking them. And you are rising in grace, protected in silence, and elevated without compromise. Don't rejoice in their downfall. Rejoice in God's righteousness. This is not about them losing. This is about you recovering. This is about God restoring what was damaged. About heaven re-establishing what was shaken. About light swallowing the shadows. This is the season where heaven answers. And it's answering in your favor. Stand in awe. Not of your enemies, but of your defender. Stand in reverence. Not because of what you avoided, but because of what heaven reversed. This is not payback. This is divine prophecy manifested. Type I receive divine justice in the comments. Blessing code 999 is now activated over your household and name. Though your house was spiritually targeted, your covering was never broken. Though your name was spoken in rooms where envy burned like incense, your identity was never altered. Though plots were drawn, and traps were laid, and word curses whispered through clenched teeth, not a single weapon formed against you prospered, not because you were strong enough, but because heaven refused to allow it. Child of light, lift your head. You are not a victim. You are not a casualty of war. You are not a spiritual accident that wandered into danger. You are a divine possession, chosen, shielded, sealed. Your enemies saw an opening, but they misread the times. They thought your silence meant surrender. They thought your kindness meant weakness. They misjudged the force surrounding your home. They never knew who stood behind your front door. They never counted on Michael. And now it is over. The countdown has completed. The veil has torn. The Spirit has spoken. The watchers in the unseen realm have been repositioned. And the threat that loomed is no longer permitted to linger. The assignment has been canceled. The back door has been closed. The witchcraft has been reversed. And what remains is peace. Let this be your final declaration. My house belongs to the Lord. My family is covered. My future is marked. My doors are sealed with light. No darkness can enter. No plot can prosper. No whisper can wound. No attack can advance. Speak it aloud. Speak it daily. Speak it until the very walls of your home echo with glory. I declare this over you now, as heaven bears witness. Your house shall be known as a sanctuary of light, a place where angels dwell, a place where healing flows, a place where sleep is sweet and mornings are filled with mercy. Let the threshold of your door be anointed. Let the corners of your rooms be washed in glory. Let the halls of your house carry the weight of divine protection. What tried to enter has now exited. What tried to settle hath been uprooted. And what tried to remain has been commanded to flee. You are not the same person who first felt the disturbance. You are stronger, sober, awakened, empowered. You have crossed over. And now, what surrounds your home is no longer warfare, it is wonder. Rise with boldness. Walk with clarity. Stand with authority. You are seen. You are sealed. You are sent. You carry something the enemy fears, and now, the enemy knows you carry it too. May the fire of God rest upon your rooftop. May the oil of anointing drip down your walls. May every room breathe peace. May every heart in your household be drawn closer to the King. And may every shadow be replaced with the shining light of Christ Himself. This is not the end of the battle. It is the beginning of your reign. What was sent against you only confirmed what heaven already knew, that you are called, consecrated, and completely covered. Type "My house is blessed" and sealed in the comments if this word completed something in your spirit. Final blessing code 000 is now surrounding you from front door to back gate. This word wasn't just a message, it was a mantle. If it covered you, spoke to you, or unlocked something within you, then let your giving become your agreement with God. Help us continue to carry this anointing across nations, across screens, into homes that are still waiting for their own moment of divine interruption. When you support, you're not sowing into a platform, you're sowing into deliverance. You're helping someone else say, "My house was under attack, but heaven stepped in because I heard a word in time." Let your gift be a spiritual act of gratitude and warfare. Isaiah 60:1 says, "Rise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." That is what you've just walked into. Now seal it. You super thanks, YouTube membership, or click the PayPal link in the description to show your support. Do it prophetically. Do it boldly. Do it as a declaration that your house will remain covered, empowered, and positioned for glory. Your obedience opens the next door. Move with heaven. Give with boldness. Activate what you've received.